Oh, just as I started recording, someone started their car right next to me. Hello, checking my teeth. I just had some strawberries. I don't know why I don't do this before I start the video, but here we are. So as you can see, I'm in my tiny van, and wow, I have been on a journey, and I have been in my mind, I've been like, oh my god, my YouTube channel. There hasn't been space for me to record a video. Thoughts often come to me as I'm driving, and I actually have a thought to get my little holder for my car so that I can sit down and, well, drive and record at the same time, and it will be fully safe, etc. I just haven't found one yet on the road. So here we are. Just checking what you can see in here. I actually have my little video showing on the screen here. You can't see much. Let me see if I can. Here's my fold-out bed. Here's Poppy. And you can just see my stuff hanging here to the side. But this is actually an intentional video to start an idea that I received just before I left, actually, for my journey, and I will update you on my journey as well. I have been to the UK. If you follow me on Instagram, I actually upload some stories on there, so you can like follow me a little bit. My Instagram is Love is Awakened as well, and for this channel, Love is Awakened, I do invite you to subscribe, to like, to comment. And so this is the first episode of what I'd like to call Spiritual FAQ, because I often get questions that they kind of come on repeat, and so I figured I'll just create like a little topical series with all these different questions that arise as we explore spirituality, life, experience. I actually wanted to invite you before this to come into a space with me. I have my rattle with me. And I do have this more shamanic side to my expression, and I don't often share it online. It's still an expression that is forming itself. But what I tend to do often for myself is to play the drum, which I have right here next to me, or the rattle, and I sing to arrive into just here now. That's not exactly how I'd like to express it. It's rather more about inviting in the energies. And this is something that is so interesting with the shamanic work, and I'm still exploring this, how it comes together with the non-dual teachings. What I realized, though, a while back, I used to sort of push away the shamanic expression. That's another conversation for another time. But once I kind of got into bringing that back in, I realized that the shamanic traditions are completely anchored in the non-dual understanding, the integrated understanding of what this experience is. And what I find often with the non-dual conversations is that we tend to, I've said this before, I said this in a recent video that I recorded just before leaving Sweden, that that conversation with Ram Dass and Alan Watts, where Alan Watts tells Ram Dass, as like, you're too attached to emptiness. And I feel like that really expresses a lot of the non-dual conversations, because we focus so much on the open, formless state that beautiful sense that we can feel, where we can feel the truth of our being as simply that. The wordless, the formless. The thing with the shamanic teachings is that it's so integrated into their expression, their view of the world. And what then comes in is the invitation of the form. And I do know that there are non-dual teachers out there that speak on this. And what I have found for myself is that I actually took like a whole kind of, a whole little journey around. It was like a 360. Came back to the same place where I started, because when I first had my awakening, I started in this place of being very embodied in the heart, in the physical experience. And at the same time, I was feeling this, like, there's something that I'm missing here. And that is sort of where I started my journey. I was searching for the truth. You know, I was like exploring all of these different traditions, and I was like, there's something missing. There's something missing. I can't really get to it. And then when I had the non-dual integration, when I realized, bam, this is what it is. It's right here. It's right. It's never left. It's always here. There's a little boy outside my car. Yeah, he saw me now. I felt like I had arrived at that place. It was like, bam, clarity. And yet after that experience, I came back not to a state of searching. That completely went away with the non-dual realization. Yet there was something still that I was like, and this is where I started to be called back into the shamanic perspective of the world. But I was pushing it away, because in my experience with the teachers that I was interacting with in the non-dual realm was also in some way, this is my perspective, pushing away the humanity, was pushing away. It was so much focus on that formless state that for me, for a while, I was taking that as, I shouldn't be interacting with the spirits of the world, the sort of unseen realms, but also the natural world. It was kind of like, oh no, everything is, everything is emptiness, everything is emptiness. and completely disregarding the divinity of the form. And now I've started a whole different story from what I was planning on speaking about today. But hey ho. And so I'm now exploring the old traditions of shamanism and the wisdom that lives there. But what I can say right now is that from what I've gathered so far, and what really landed with me was that, like I said, these traditions have fully integrated. They've fully integrated the non-dual understanding together with the deep recognition that we are in a human expression and we are in relationship to everything because we are everything. And this is the beautiful paradox, right? It is both a relationship and it is not a relationship because we are everything. And they go together so incredibly perfectly when we can really feel that within our being. When we can know it, not through concept, but through experience of feeling the human heart together with the knowledge, the experience of the formless. And this is where they come together, the form and the formless. And what's so magical about this is that the deeper that we can know this through experience, the more powerful we can be in the world, the more safe we can feel in the world, and the more we can influence the world. And what's so beautiful is that the course that I've created, Localise Your Centre, it's going to be released soon. Without me even knowing it, that is exactly what I was experiencing, finding through my own experience, and then putting into this course. And it's only in hindsight that I see that, like, oh, like I was already seeing this, and now this is showing itself through this other old tradition that I have been called to explore more and learn through. Because here's the thing, the recognition of our center, as I like to call it, and the recognition of our center is the form and the formless together. We bring it into the heart. And when we do this, when we recognize this, when we live from this, we also find that we start to influence the world. And this was my great epiphany over time with my own exploration. And I was like, whoa, when I live in my heart and I continue to interact through that totally impersonal yet personal space of the form and the formless, both being and not being this person, magic starts to appear in my experience. I start to influence, like my relationships are changing, I am changing, I am living through passion, I am living through joy, and I am continuously allowing the old conditioning of the body-mind to show itself to me, and I continue to transform it through my heart continuously. It's a effortless process once we recognize this. Recognize the living in the heart, recognize localizing our center and living from our center, as I like to call it. And through this experience, we begin to see our power. It's the power of love. It's not power of like, oh, I'm a powerful human being. Oh. Like it's not from the mind. It's the inherent power of our being. Human beings are so fucking powerful. We're so amazing. We are so amazing because we have the capacity, the ability to know what we are. You know, everything that we see around us is divine. The plants, the animals, they can teach us so much. I'm not saying that we're better than or anything. Of course we're not, because everything is one being. There is no hierarchy whatsoever. Yet we have the capacity to consciously know what we are. And we have the capacity then to direct our focus, and this is how we create in the world. And the more that we are localized in our center, the more we are living through our heart, the more that power shows itself. We are grounded in our power. We are grounded in that impersonal sense of being. And therefore, we can direct our focus instead of being caught up with focus in our conditioned mind and our fears, doubts, worries that comes from the body. And to me, this is what the human collective is powerfully moving through right now. Truly recognizing the fact that we can, I don't like to use the word heal, recognizing that we have the ability to shift, to not be caught up, imprisoned by our past, our mind, our emotions stuck in the body. This is the grand awakening, waking up to the fact that, hang on a minute, I have the power because I have my focus. I have the ability to choose. Where do I put my focus? So fucking powerful. So fucking powerful. I can't even tell you. When we recognize that we have the power of focus, the power of attention, and it is not about spiritually bypassing. and going, oh, I don't want to feel that. I want to feel happy. Let me, you know. It is turning the focus inwards. It is turning the focus towards the formless that unlocks that sense of peace within us, so that when something arises, we're like, okay, this is arising. I don't need to be afraid. I don't need to be caught in this. My freedom lives in the free space of awareness that I am, so that I can hold this human experience, and then I can allow that to shift. I can allow that to, here's the thing, simply move through. And we unravel and unravel and unravel our true power. And then our focus, our attention becomes incredibly powerful. Because even though emotions arise, even though thoughts arise, we allow them to be what they are. They're moving, they're doing their thing. We're not identified with it. And this is where we can then direct our focus towards our creation, towards our love, towards our appreciation, our true appreciation. So this sort of turned into a different conversation, but I love it. So I guess this is more like a little heads up that the little series of spiritual FAQs is being created. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments, because then I can create videos literally just responding to these questions. And of course I've done this in the past, but I want to create like a separate little thing for it. So if you have any questions, anything, just ask them. I love to be in that interaction and get to like when I work one-on-one with people, there's just so much beautiful stuff coming through when we are in interaction with one another, you know, when we ask the questions, when we're having a conversation. Once again, it's like, oh, it's so magical, it's so beautiful, it's so freaking divine. Like we are this being. We're just learning about ourselves from all of these infinite numbers of perspectives. So, mwah, I invite you. I didn't use the rattle anything. Is there? Little blessing for you. All right. All my love, all my love, all my love, all my love. Get in contact with me if you want to work with me separately, one-on-one. Let me know if you're curious about Localise Your Centre. Like I said, it's going to be released soon. And to be fully honest, it's just a matter of me not being distracted by travels and doing all the steps to get it online, to market it, to let people know it's coming, all of that stuff. And yeah, so just feel into your heart, feel that power that lives here, the that gorgeous, unspeakable power of freaking love. Love. Love, babe. Love. Love. It's so juicy. It's so juicy. It's so beautiful. All right. Thank you. Mwah. Blessings, 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 blessings.